You may have heard the song I Go Blind. It was a popular hit for Hootie and the Blowfish in 1995 and released as part of the soundtrack for the TV show Friends. However, what you may not know is that song was actually written and first performed by the Canadian band 5440. The West Coasters have been a huge part of the Canadian rock scene since their formation in the early 80s, in particular peaking with 3 platinum albums in the 1990s. Well, they're coming to the Oakville Centre on January 22nd, and I got the chance to chat with lead singer Neil Osborne, both about the tour and music of the next generation of the 5440 family. Well, Neil, the band at this point, Canadian rock royalty. You've gone across the country, back and forth, too many times to count. I'm curious, what keeps you guys going and what keeps you guys together?
Number of things, I suppose. One that keeps us going, we really like what we do, and we really like each other. But we have one of the traditions that we've sort of instituted in the last, 10, 15 years, is when we head out on the road, usually we get there a day before, and we always go for a very nice dinner, maybe the Keg or a really nice restaurant like High's or something like that. And it's like old fishing buddies, and we just sort of catch up, and the dinner's on the band, so you don't have to worry about what it's going to cost or anything like that. And we sort of get it all out of our system in a fun way, like a party thing, and then we get to work and we get right into it. And we all appreciate the subtleties of what we do when we're on stage. It's like, oh, you're right in the pocket there, and then after a show or two, the band you start to feel, you're hitting that highway, and we're in cruise control, and it's really fun.
So, I have been a fan of the band for a while, and this is going to be a little bit inside here, but I recall hearing stories back in the day, let's go about 25 years ago, that you used to let your daughter cut your hair. True or false?
True. Yeah.
True.
And in fact, I have 2 daughters, and one time I let them each take a half, like this half, and they just did their thing. I don't care, Rock and roll, you can look like what you want.
Well, speaking of rock and roll, that's actually going to be my next question to a degree. One of those daughters, shockingly, did not go on to be a hairstylist, but she has followed in Dad's footsteps. Kendall Osborne, now singer-songwriter, known as Kendall.
I told you not to take me here.
Was there any hesitancy on your part to have her get into the industry?
I never encouraged it, because I know how tough it is, especially for women, and especially these days, But to her credit, she got the bug. When you get the bug and it's your passion, I encourage it, especially if you're an artist, because the world needs more artists. I don't care what it is you do, write, paint, sculpt, music.
Well, musically, your styles are very different, but I'm curious, does she come to Dad for advice at all?
Not so much anymore. Once in a while she'll throw me a mix or say, what do you think, the hi-hat's too loud or this or that, or, looking for a third opinion, and I'll throw it out there if she asks. But I think she's surpassed me in her vision and her ears as far as what's best for her, that's for sure.
Every time I look at you, I go blind. Every time I look at you, I go blind.
Now, I want to talk about some of the venues that you're playing, because a lot of what you're doing now are soft seat theaters, at least through this Ontario run. And I've talked to some of your contemporaries about this, the Mo Berg, Stephen Page, Brad Roberts of the world. How have you found the transition from, the Lee's Palaces and Commodore Ballrooms to the world of, let's say, Deerhurst Resort or the Oakville Performing Arts Center?
Well, they're two different kind of shows. So we just wrapped up, for instance, the summer festivals, which was, outdoors and kind of a different vibe altogether. And then we did a bunch of shows like the Commodore and the Danforth, which is big rock show, big light show. This is going to be more intimate, where the first set we're going to sort of tell some stories. We're going to focus on the new record, which has a song about each guy in the band. And then the second set, we'll sort of drop the hammer and bang out the hits, and it'll be a nice time.
Ocean Pearl was a part of my high school experience and pretty much defines it. So when I hear that, I turn it up. And it's been a real kick talking to you, Neil. Thank you for doing this. Good luck on the tour across Ontario. I'm sure you've been to all the places before, but your fans love you, and I'm glad you guys are still doing it.
It'll be a lot of fun.